What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video on the Texas Rangers report. And in this video, we're going to be breaking down Matt Bush making the roster, Charlie Culberson making the roster, Matt Carpenter being assigned to AAA, and a few other things. But if this is your first time watching the Texas Rangers report, make sure to subscribe right now because we're your #1 source for all things Texas Rangers on YouTube. But also make sure to join the Discord. That link will be in the description down below. So the Texas Rangers opening day, April 8th against the Toronto Blue Jays, is coming up. The roster is getting pretty close to being finalized. Obviously, Charlie Culberson making the roster. He was on the Texas Rangers roster last year in a platoon with Brock Holt. He will be making the roster, so he was brought in as a non-roster invitee. That means somebody on the 40-man will have to be designated for assignment. Same case with Matt Bush. He was brought in as a non-roster invitee, so somebody on the 40-man will have to be designated for assignment. Make note that Jose Leclerc is on the 40-man, and he still is recovering from Tommy John. He is expected to be fully healthy sometime around like mid of the season, so he could be put on the 60-day IL. That means we wouldn't have to clear, we would save one person from being DFA'd. But who are some of the guys that we could release or DFA from the 40-man? I'm thinking Zach Rex, we got in the trade with the Los Angeles Dodgers, the outfielder. He's 28 years old. He seems like the first obvious candidate. I also think Yanni Enriquez, he got some time at the major league level last year with the Texas Rangers. He's extremely versatile. Granted, both these guys have been not designated, but optioned to AAA. Yanni Hernandez is a switch hitter. He gets on base really well, but that's about it. His hit tool is pretty bad, so I wouldn't be surprised if he got designated, even though he is young at 23 years old, same age as Leody Taveras. And then the third guy I wouldn't be surprised is DeMarcus Evans, former top prospect, destroyed the minor leagues as a reliever. Hasn't proved that much at the major league level, but I doubt he gets designated. Probably is going to be Zach Rex, and Jose Leclerc probably goes on the 60-day IL, but it is noteworthy. And obviously, if Zach Rex or anybody else gets designated for assignment, that means the Rangers have 7 days to either trade them, release them, or outright them back to the minor leagues if they clear waivers. I do think that if Zach Rex were to get DFA, I think he'd clear waivers and be sent right back to AAA Round Rock, but you never know, so that is notable. But I think it is even more notable that with the Albert Abreu trade, I keep on calling him Brian Abreu, but that guy's with the Astros. Albert Abreu, this means that Greg Holland won't make the team, in my opinion. I think he had a really good shot to make the team. He was doing really well in spring training. Even though his fastball velocity is down from previous seasons, I think he had a really good shot to make the team. But with Albert Abreu now on the squad from the Jose Trevino trade, that clears up another 40-man spot. Now Greg Holland might just go and sign with another team. Although after Culberson making the squad, who will crush lefties, that's what he did last year, and Matt Bush making the squad, who will probably be maybe 9th inning guy. I think I'll still go to Joe Barlow or a setup guy. Who are the other guys that are still competing for a roster spot? I think it has to be the backup outfielder spot, which is going to be Eli White versus Jake Marisnick. I think Eli White has to have the upper hand because Eli White is on the 40-man roster. So if you were to add Jake Marisnick, you'd have to get rid of another guy, which could be Yanni Hernandez. I wouldn't even be surprised if Jordan Apostle maybe is designated, or they maybe trade him, but I think that's highly unlikely. But I wouldn't be surprised if Jake Marisnick made the team, because there are ways that you can make a roster spot open for him, and he could platoon with Cole Calhoun or Willie Calhoun. But I think Eli White has the upper hand. He's faster, even though Jake Marisnick is fast. But also, I'm really excited about this new swing from Eli White. I think Jake Marisnick was more of an insurance policy, just in case Eli White wasn't healthy to go for opening day. But it looks like he's good because he's been playing in the outfield. He's been DHing. And we all know that he's a really good defender, and he's more versatile than Jake Marisnick. He can play the infield as well. And if you look at all the bench for the Texas Rangers, granted, if Eli White makes the team, he can play infield and outfield. Nick Solak, he can play the infield and the outfield. And you also look at recently Charlie Culberson, who made the team. He can play the infield and the outfield, and all those guys crush lefties. And we already know what Jake Marisnick is at this point in his career, a really good, solid defender who can't really hit. I'm really excited to see what Eli White can do with his new swing this year. I hope he makes the squad. And then I think the last roster spot up for grabs has to be the last spot in the bullpen. With the new rule that you can carry 28 people on the squad, the Rangers, or Chris Woodward has said that he plans on carrying 10 guys in the bullpen to start the season. So I think that will consist of Joe Barlow, Brett Martin, John King, Garrett Richards, Albert Abreu, Brock Burke, Colby Allard, Matt Bush, Dennis Santana, because he's out of options. But the two that I am considering is who's going to be the 10th guy. Is it going to be Spencer Patton, or is it going to be Josh Sborz? I think both of them should make the team. You're obviously, I think Dennis Santana is going to make the team because the way they've been talking about him, but he's out of options, so you can't send him down to the minors. Both Spencer Patton and Josh Sborz both have one option, so I think the case could be who out of those guys would make the team. I think Patton has the upper hand since he's like a veteran. You could always call Sborz back up. I like Sborz, but I think the Rangers have placed an emphasis on multi-inning relievers since they're trying to take it slow with their starters. I didn't think Colby Allard would make the team. I didn't even think Brock Burke would make the team. Both those guys did. I think they're going to be used as tandem guys to start the season, and then whenever you don't really need those guys, maybe you call Josh Sborz back up. We will see. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. But just to recap, Charlie Culberson making the squad, Matt Bush making the squad. I bet Jose Leclerc will go to the 60-day IL soon, and Zach Rex probably will be DFA'd. And then the last spots that people are competing for is the backup outfielder spot with Eli White and Jake Marisnick. And then the last bullpen spot, I think, will be Josh Sborz and Spencer Patton competing just because of those option situations. But you never know. They could send somebody else down, or they could DFA somebody else. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And that being said, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.